move on to number 8, it's a hydrologist report.
The Nickel Creek BLM agreement that's been signed then and been sent to BLM. They'll start progressing on that.
Check been cut.
Yeah, check's been cut.
2 or 3.
Yeah, and again, that's already been mentioned. Just been working with Kevin and the rest of staff on the transferability of ordinance too. There's been a lot of time with staff working on that and looking at that and to improve that. Also provided the Nevada Division of Water Resources. They called and requested some information on our wells and water rights and sent that to them.
Is that pretty much standard?
Yeah, for the most part. They were looking at drill logs for different places of use of water, and I guess updating their records. Had to do with some of our extension of time for water rights. The 8-inch transmission line project in Bunkerville, that work's been completed for a while now, but for the inspection process with NDOT and Clark County, they just both wrapped up their inspections, and from my understanding, I haven't heard back from Clark County, but they were waiting to hear back from NDOT to say yes, that was approved by them, and then the county would sign off on it and we would be done, and we still have the retention that we need to pay out to the contractor once we get the inspection completed from the county, and then pass it off on that. And that both should be any day now.
And has what about across there?
Yeah, it's very small within this on the other side road there. Also been working on, we have 2 tanks that need to be, well, one needs to be cleaned and inspected, and another, we take on the flat top up in Franklin Way. About 1.5 years ago that was leaking, and we brought that for the board to go get that repaired. And the leak has reoccurred. It's very small, and so that's being looked at, and going out getting 4 quotes on to get that repaired. So we're in the middle of that, and hopefully that will wrap up here very shortly, and we'll get that repaired, and then the scenic tank will be cleaned, inspected and cleaned with the interior. Both those tanks were put in at the same time in, I think, 2006, and so we go get a closer inspection with the video camera and whatnot to see the integrity of those tanks.
And what kind of loss are we getting
On the
on
leak,
that leak?
it's a pin leak. It's very, very small, but at the same time, leaks grow. So there's no way to meter that necessarily. It's through a crack.
Is the water making it to Mesquite?
No,
That's why the Colorado floods.
there you go.
Shouldn't joke about that.
Also finished up on water quality sampling. Got the report back on that. And then also there's another attachment with my report, specifically on updating the water use by hookup residential. The last time we kind of looked at that was 2007 in our conservation plan. I had someone call in and wanted an update on that, so I was working on that for them. I looked at that and also created a table with ERUs, or equivalent residential units, and there's a ratio in our that we use per each meter size. And so I put that and was able to go across all water use and get a I guess an ERU for use over the years. And that's kind of interesting to be able to compare those. And that'll be used, will be beneficial in our look at structure, the rates, and things of that nature. So that's, oh, and also last time we talked about the wilderness area, and in regards to the Nickel Creek, we'll look at that. And the best I can tell, it's just under a half a mile. Well, not under, I'm sorry, just over a half a mile, I think between 3/4 mile and a half a mile from that point of diversion of Nickel Creek stream area. And that's what they call there's an instant study area.
Right.
And that's there's a corner of that, and that's also what's being proposed as wilderness, which, again, there's roads up there, so it doesn't necessarily fit the criteria of wilderness if there's roads already there, so it'll be interesting how that plays out. But within this study area, that is similar to a wilderness area. That's how they kind of mean that. So
Just to make sure I got my story straight, I was looking at a map yesterday, as a matter of fact, of the proposed wilderness, proposed NCA, and if I understand it correctly, the road that we're requesting out of BLM does not go through any part of the proposed wilderness. But it's all still part of
the proposed NCA, correct.
Proposed NCA, but no part of that row is inside the wilderness boundary.
That's correct.
Proposed wilderness boundary.
Correct.
Okay, it's all south and whatever.
Yeah.
All twisted around.
It'll be northeast.
Northeast.
Yeah.
Yeah, northeast, because it's over there, so to speak.
Sort of, yeah. If we were standing there, it would be like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then I also have a question about this water usage chart, but I'll let Kent ask his question.
You know what the question is, would it let Aaron know that a pre-existing road does not preclude wilderness? I used to go camping in campgrounds that had picnic tables, drop toilets, fire rings, and got declared as untrammeled wilderness. It got all plowed away and removed.
Down by Cave Lake.
No. But it was in the Snake Mountains.
Wes?
Wade.
Wade.
We
Wade
call
Coulson,
him Wes.
General Manager, Lincoln County Water District. Just for your information, Lincoln County has 780,000 acres of wilderness. And when that was instituted, they told us that all of our roads were going to be cherry stemmed in or grandfathered in as access to those wilderness areas. After about 3 years, the BLM came back and started closing the roads off. And then they started to limit the access, and they started to say those grandfathered roads and cherry stem roads were going to be closed, so that only one access. So if you lived on the north and the access was on the south, you had to drive all the way around to get to that access. And so just be careful what they say, because they don't always say. They're telling you the truth at the time. I'm just going to put it that way. They're telling you the truth at the time because things change in the future.
It's all managed.
Just
by
be
the-
cautious.
Very well put, Wade.
Google the camel's nose.
Called wilderness.
Go look at the Beaver Dam wash and tell me how long those words last.
You had something else?
Yes. On this water use chart, in 212, residential meters used 2,792 acre feet in the year, correct?
A 3/4 inch, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like my house.
Yes.
Okay. And then the equivalent, the ERU, when you get over into that chart, that's mostly businesses, is that correct?
It's actually every.
Multi-family, 2 condos.
It's any meter in the whole district. So 3/4 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch. It's all of them. And then there's a ratio given per meter size to an equivalent residential unit, and so it factors that in. So it's
Okay.
kind of apples, be able to compare apples to apples for as best as possible. Anyways.
So someone asked me how many acre feet of water did the district use last year? Am I going to add 2,792 and 5,398? Do I add those together? Or do I tell them we used 5,398 acre feet?
That's how much we sold last year. Was 5,398 acre feet
Total. My house, Dave's
Yes.
business, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you. Because I was pretty confused. So technically, we did not use half
We did not use. quite
of our
a-
allocation, of our 12,000 acre feet?
There's, yes and no. We've sold that amount, but at the same time, we pumped more because there's losses in the system. That's,
Okay.
And there's some unmetered use too, right?
yeah, that is true.
Like what?
Fire hydrant.
Fire hydrants.
Hydrant.
Okay.
Those are all, when I say losses, there's different things like that. Fire flow, when they flow meters, things like that, all the different losses. When the break happens, leaks, okay, we just talked about the small leak happening at the tanks, things
Okay.
like that add up. That
Do we
is-
know how many acre feet of those losses we had last year in 2012?
Yeah, we pumped, what, about 6,600 acre feet?
So about 1,300.
No, that was last, you know what? No, I think that was
In
last year.
212?
I think, I'd have to, I'm going off my memory, and I slept since then, so I'd have to double check. I think that's
Close?
a lot like that.
Approximate?
Yeah, approximately.
Okay.